go, that was God. You train yourself in silence on a consistent daily basis to hear from God. At first you hear everything else. But after a while, you'll know that voice. Because you've maintained an atmosphere of practice in his presence. But you can't spend all your time with the world and think you're going to hear from God. Because there's so many other voices you're listening to. As soon as you sit down and hear from God, you'll hear all this other stuff. Your mind will be all over the place. And see, so that's why it's dangerous to just, you're listening to music, and music is talking to you, it's counseling you, it's saying something to you. Even in the beat is being communicated. It's expressing something. I had it here for you. Let me see if I can find it. 1 Samuel. Let's go to 1 Samuel real quick. See, we make our musical decisions based on how we feel. So we say, if it feels good, what's wrong with it? But that's just like saying if it tastes good, what's wrong with it? Sugar tastes good. Sugar's not good for you. I mean, you probably don't realize, but it's not. You know, those that are older is dealing with all types of diabetes and other stuff that's being broken down because of sugar understand that, but people that are young don't realize it. But when you're older and you're missing 4 or 5 different teeth, if it was so good for you, where your teeth at? You see what I'm saying? So you understand what I'm saying? Like, so, but it tastes good. Kool-Aid, man, we used to run through Kool-Aid like it wasn't nothing. Kool-Aid was our friend. You know, it's just like, we're going to mix up a pack of Kool-Aid, you know, all the different flavors. We used to walk around with packets of it, you know. And, going through the neighborhood, yo, get some water, man. We about to do this Kool-Aid, yo. And then take the whole bag of 5-pound sugar and put it in there. Right? So taste good, feel good. Everything that tastes good, feel good, that's your feelings. That's the voice of your flesh. Your feelings are the voice of your flesh. That you can't be moved by just based on what you feel. So what I say, 1 Samuel 16, all right, verse 16. It says, let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp. And it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. And verse 23, it says, and it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed as well, and the evil spirit departed from him. It didn't say David sang a note. David didn't sing one note. He played a sound, and the evil spirit left Saul. So if David can play a sound and cast out or chase out an evil spirit, what could the adversary do? He could play a sound to impart an evil spirit. No, it didn't say he sang a word. No words were sang. Just sound was played. So it shows you how powerful sound. The most evil thing in life can be driven out with the sound of music. So the most evil thing in life can be imparted with the sound of music. So that's why, it's like, so when, I was about to say when you're young, it's not just when you're young and old. The thing is, we're so naive sometimes, we just go, oh, that's crazy, because I like it. That's immaturity. Immaturity is just making decisions based on how you feel. Being grown has nothing to do with age. It's your choices. Are you making decisions best for your life? So we have a lot of 30, 40, 50-year-old children that are still selfish, still going, yeah, I heard that, but it feels good, so hey, whatever. We have people that will eat, eat pork, and they got, all types of high blood pressure or whatever. And they be like, gotta die from something. See, that's what a child would say. So you trying to help to death? You know, you're smoking a cigarette and they tell you the cigarette's going to kill you. Got to die from something. No, what you're saying is I don't want the responsibility to deal with the uncomfortableness of challenging myself to change. So I have to come up with a reason to continue to do what I shouldn't be doing. It's the same thing with music. It's not, there's so much music. I mean, I listen to music all the time. So there's so much music out there, and God can give you so much music to still maintain your relationship with him and you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? The music is not limited to what's secular, and beats aren't limited to what's secular. They just with their God getting their beats. So get with your God and get your beats. You're with the creator. They with the perverter. So you can create. That's all they doing is taking beats because you too young to go back in time and see where they got it. All they doing is producing something that had already existed, just changed it just a little bit. But you don't know that because you weren't there. You're back in the time. That's why you be hearing all these lawsuits like, wait a minute, they just took my song. That's my song. Yeah, they're not creators. They're perverters, twisters. I didn't say no names. All right, so again, when you have an atmosphere that's not godly music, it's an atmosphere of confusion, and God can't live in the sound of confusion. You know, it's the sound of confusion is evil sound intended to distract you from the presence of God. So God can't live in that. So when you start to create an atmosphere around you, and if you're honest with yourself, when you go into those atmospheres and it's mostly secular, the first thing you feel is a sense of fear. You feel uncomfortable. You feel like something's wrong, but you don't know what it is, and you're trying to fight it because that atmosphere, you know you're not doing right by God. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't sense that, then you're so numb, you can walk right out of the presence of God and don't realize it. So that's a dangerous place to be. See, again, God doesn't dwell in an atmosphere of confusion because God dwells in an atmosphere of harmony. Think about musical harmony, things that align with him. You know, confusion is the opposite of harmony. The reason why harmony is so important is harmony begins in the heart, impacts the head, and manifests through the voice. So God's sound, it begins in your heart. It touches your heart. It impacts your mind, and it determines what you say. So it doesn't change because you listen to the wrong music. You listen to the wrong music, it's going to impact your heart, it's going to affect your mind, and it's going to dictate what you say. Right? So I'm not going to get into all the different songs. But the thing about harmony, see, when we have a worship atmosphere of God's music, so instead of loving music that's against God and creating that confusing atmosphere, see, because secular music dictates rebellion and individuality. See, so you start listening to it and you go into your own world. It's designed to get you to, I'm going to do my own thing. This is all, please, I don't need nobody. This is me. Now, all of a sudden, you got your career. It's all about you. The difference in godly music, it keeps you in harmony. Minister Lamar was talking about unity yesterday, God Talk. Keeps you in harmony. So really, our life, if we do it right, we're like sardines. And if you looks like sardines. Not from this angle of taste, but the angle of action. So the thing about sardines are in so much harmony. They flow in so much harmony. When it's a lot of them together, when it's a school of them together, if you look in the water, you'll think you see a whale. That's how tight they are. Like you couldn't tell it's not a huge fish. And sardines are like this big. But they flow together that much where, is that a whale coming? So that's the goal for us to operate in that level of harmony. if that makes sense. And see, so what we listen to would determine that. Some people don't realize that music is a direct link to your heart. So if it's a direct link to your heart, it could teach you something you don't want to learn. Okay, y'all didn't hear it. So music is a direct link to your heart. So if you love the wrong music, it could teach you something you don't want to learn. It's bypassing your mind. That's where you make your choices are. That's why they place a lot of subliminal messages in music. So what is a subliminal message? A subliminal message bypasses your conscious and goes right to your subconscious. Now, normally the way things will operate is introduced to your mind. And you decide whether you want to agree. We call that mental assent. You go, okay, I agree with that. Oh, wow, I didn't think about that. And then you meditate on it long enough where now it goes into your heart and you live it out. It becomes your default or your autopilot. Now, the things that you don't agree with, you constantly reject, so they're never a part of your autopilot. When I first was teaching my son how to shoot, he was listening, but he wasn't doing what I told him to do. So never got into his default. So even though in front of me he may have did the right thing, under pressure, he did the wrong thing because they didn't get to his default until he realized, okay, let me try it his way. I get it now. Then it became, he agreed up in his head, meditated on it long enough where it went into his subconscious and he does it without thinking about it. Just like some of us ride bikes. We ride bikes right now without thinking about it. We're not trying to, I hope I don't fall. We don't do that. Because we meditated on it long enough where it bled into our subconscious, right? Now, subliminal messages, it doesn't want you to choose. So it's not going to your head. Because you may choose to, that's crazy. I ain't doing that. I don't believe that. I'm not worshiping him. I'm worshiping God. So it'll bypass your head and go right to your heart. So before you know it, you start acting crazy. You start operating in fear. You start getting lazy. You start making decisions. Everybody's looking at you like, what are you talking about? Because now, so the music taught you something without your permission. That's why you can't love the wrong music. It'll bypass that subconscious. And if something gets to your autopilot, it got you. Because now you have something that's a default. So you ever like say, I know what I need to do. You know you need to do something. And for whatever reason, you can't do it. Yeah, so something's got a hold of your default. So now what you have to do is even what you want to do, you got to meditate on that thing long enough where it bleeds into your subconscious. You just can't agree today. You can't have mental assent today and don't meditate and meditate and meditate and focus on that thing till it become a habit. Has to become a habit. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Why? Why does he know that? Because you meditated on to a point where it's a part of your default. It's a part of your habit. It's just something that just comes out of you because you meditate on it over and over and over. I would have fainted unless I would have fainted. I would have given up unless I believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Psalm 27:13. You meditate on it over and over, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ Jesus. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Why do I know that? Because I meditate on that thing over and over and over. Wrong thought come up, I got to cast it down. I can't allow anything to hang out in my mind that I don't want bled in my heart. I can't allow anything to hang out in my mind that I don't want bled in my heart. I can't think on it. If I feel funky about something, if I'm hurt about something, listen, not like I don't care. I just can't I can't keep those thoughts in my mind. So I start praying. I'm praying in the spirit. I cast down imaginations. I'm not holding on to it.